Hello and welcome to day 26 of an album a day, going through my vinyl collection. Of course, the heater just kicked on. Kind of a weird day. Everything is in disarray because I have apartment inspection today. Those happen usually annually or biannually here in most states. And today is the day. They were supposed to be here this morning. I thought I'd have everything cleaned up, but of course they haven't shown up yet. So I thought I would do this video while I wait and take a break from mixing the new album, which should be out January 15th. That's the plan. Now, today's album is another holiday-related album for me. It was one that I would I listen to it all year round, but especially around the holidays. Another album on Christmas Eve while waiting for my dad to get off work, I would listen to quite frequently while stretching and having the Christmas lights on. And of course, we're talking about the 1971 release of Deep Purple's Fireball. 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 This is, the cover's not in the greatest shape on this one, but this is an original 1971 pressing from Warner Brothers, and one that I've always liked those green labels. It really feels, or like late 60s, early 70s, that just weird color of olive or army green, whatever it is. But the jacket's, it's worn, and it's understandable. It's 1971. I'm not sure if this was originally rounded or if it's just worn down. But it does feel like it was kind of naturally rounded a little bit. I couldn't tell in the photos, but it does have the nice gatefold sleeve, of course, which I enjoy. And it did come with something we always enjoyed in albums that we could read while we were listening to the album, is the lyric sheet, which has all the songs and not just one random song on the back cover, like Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow did. Very cool album, though, Deep Purple Fireball. There are some just amazing songs, and Ian Gillan has said, historically this is his favorite Deep Purple album, definitely one of mine. I mean, you've got Fireball, No No No, which the thing about No 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 that's fun for me is that the only time I can really sing it well, like with grit, is when I have the flu. And so I haven't been able to sing it for years, but I'm grateful not to have had the flu. Strange Kind of Woman, especially the live version, is pretty amazing. The duet that Ian and Ritchie would have. Anyone's Daughter, I love this song. It's so different from what you would expect from a band that's just come out with In Rock, but it's just a fun song and great lyrics. Obviously tells a great story. The Mule is one that I've just absolutely loved. One of my favorites. Fools. Now, if you don't know the story of Fools, I'll tell it very briefly here. I told it on the podcast. I think we talked about it on the Deep Purple podcast as well. But basically, when I met with Roger Glover on the Abandoned tour, so this would be late 90s, in Denver, Colorado, at Greenwood Village, I think was the city. And I always want to say it was Tavern on the Green, but that was not the case. It was something else. Different venue, but it was like one of those nice little outdoor arenas where some sporting things went on and concerts. And I worked fairly close to the place, which was nice because I could often hear some element of whatever concert was going on if I stayed late at work. But anyway, met with Roger Glover. We were talking about how Steve Morse had really just instilled new life in some of the older songs. And I said, but if there's one song I could ever ask you guys to play, and I know you don't take fan requests, it would be Fools. And he said, Fools, right, how does that go? And I sang him the opening, and he went, oh, yeah, that is a great song. And then months later, a year or so later, when the videos came out, I think it was on Perihelion, the one that they filmed in Florida, Fools was on it. And according to Setlist.fm, they were not playing that song before I met with them in Denver, and it was actually some time before they brought it into the set. So I don't know if I planted the seed for that. I would like to think that I gave something back to the band a little bit, which I'm about to do, because starting February, first week of February, my new show, Deep Purple Smoke on the Podcast, will start airing on Acast and will be distributed to all the podcast places. Wherever you're listening to Haskincast, you'll be able to get this as well. And I'm doing it just like Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast, one song per episode, covering every single song they ever recorded. Because, there's so many hits and things that only get like the radio play, like Highway Star, Smoke in the Water, Hush. And there's so many other great songs that they did that really should be highlighted. So I'm doing that show starting the first week of February. It will air Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, with the Haskin Cast airing on Wednesdays still, and then the occasional like Saturday bonus episode or whatever. But that's not all. When I saw Roger again in August in Michigan and Chicago, I recanted that story to him, and I said, do you remember this? And he didn't have any recollection of that conversation. So I have no idea if I had any influence. He could have easily just been playing a joke on me, not pretending not to remember the song and getting me to sing it for him. I have absolutely no idea. But in any case, I would like to think that the timing of that would give me at least an indication that I was able to, give a little bit of something back to the band. But that's not all. I have another version of this album. Boom, Deep Purple Fireball. This one, however, is another Warner Brothers edition. So that was, the green one was the 71 cut. This one was a reissue that came out in 1974 on the more, foresty path down the road label. I don't know why, but whenever I look at this, I always feel like there's like water or a beach off to one side, even though the actual picture gives no indication of that whatsoever. This sleeve is in better condition, does not have a lyric sheet, but from what I'm finding, I don't know that it actually included one. I've not seen a version of this with the lyric sheet anywhere online. So anyway, Deep Purple Fireball, same song, same track list, excellent. There were some other tracks that came off of this, like Slow Train, which is a great song. If you have the 25th anniversary CD, the remix and master that Roger Glover did, there's some really killer stuff on there. Slow Train was a really cool song I didn't know existed until that came out. Also, I have to double check. I think Freedom was from these sessions as well. Freedom's another just great song. First heard that on Deep Purple, the anthology, which we'll get to at some point. But yeah, killer album, and really cool to have two versions. So what happened with the two versions is that I happened to, I had the green one, I think, or no, I had the reissue, and I saw the green one online for just a couple of bucks, and I thought, yeah, you know what, that would be kind of cool to have too. So I went ahead and got it. And then I said, well, now I've got to get that for In Rock and Who Do We Think We Are and Machine Head and all these other ones. So anyway, started collecting the different Warner Brothers issues as well. So within my Deep Purple collection, there's like a lot of mini collections, the purple records, the green label Warner Brothers, the white label Warner Brothers. Obviously, eventually I'll get to picture discs. I did have a really nice picture disc of Fireball back in the day. Maybe one day I'll get another copy of that. They're a lot more expensive now than they were back in the 80s when I was getting all this stuff. But anyway, yeah, very cool album. Very Christmassy for me, and happy to share this one with you. We'll see you guys tomorrow for an album a day. This one's going to be quite a departure from music that I've been covering over the last few days. So tune in for that. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Cheers.